7:02, and I'll call the meeting to order. If we could please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and welcome to our November 10th, 2025 business meeting of the Milton Board of Education. Can we have a roll call, please, Ms. Fleming?
Yes. Megan Doyle.
Here.
Nicole Flowers. Here. Tom Koba.
Here.
Steve Creed.
Here.
Ali Scobie.
Mr. Scobie will be late.
Scott Vermender.
Present.
Mike Smith.
Here.
Cindy Wilboyan.
Here.
Tracy Irby. Here. And Susan Glyan.
Here.
All 10 members are present.
9 present.
Oh, sorry, 9 present. One on the way.
All right, we have student reports. I believe Foreign goes first this time. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you all tonight. Last month, candidates Rich Smith and Tony Giannatascio came into our journalism class where students were able to ask questions and form their own opinions with answers from the candidates. We want to give a special congratulations to our very own football and baseball coach, Garrett Walker, who was inducted into the Southern Connecticut Diamond Club Hall of Fame. We are extremely proud of him and all the contributions he's made towards our school. Every day, various colleges and universities visit our school counseling center. Students can take advantage of these meetings to learn more about each college and plan for their future. Students in our U.S. history courses ended their imperialism unit by formal debate. Students debated the implications of Puerto Rican statehood from an economic, political, and historical perspective. Student judges then listened, took notes, and voted on which side presented the stronger topic. On October 23rd, chemistry classes celebrated Mole Day. A mole is a very large number of atoms and molecules that are used in science, and students were able to make Mole Day drawings while also engaging with Mole Day videos and songs. In AP Psychology, students learned about light adaptation for their sensation unit. They wore pirate eye patches for almost the entirety of the period, and then they turned the lights off just to find out they were able to see in the dark. A foreign alumni, Eva Knudsen, who graduated in 2018, came to advanced journalism classes to speak about life after high school, what it's like being a project manager, and tips that seniors can take with them after they graduate. In our bake shop class, students put loads of hard work into their cinnamon rolls and created delicious cream cheese butter frosting. Our unified sports team attended a soccer tournament at Shelton High School on November 6th. The peer coaches and players alike had an amazing experience, and everyone took home medals. 2 of our captains won the Fall SEC Scholar Athlete Award, Chloe Wardman, who is our girls swim and dive captain, and Gavin Conti, who is our boys soccer captain. We want to thank Great Blue Research for presenting the award, and we want to give congrats to them both.
Good evening, everyone. Our foreign cheer team participated in a recent competition at Southern Connecticut State University, showcasing routines they've been working hard on for weeks. They did an outstanding job, and we wish them luck for their upcoming winter season. Girls volleyball finished off their regular season with an amazing record of 17-4. We are also honored to have first 2-team All-SEC athletes, Nye Baromi and Aubrey Pippa, who are recognized by all of Southern Connecticut for their consistent, outstanding performances. During these past few weeks, all of our fall sports celebrated their seniors on their respective senior nights. Congratulations to all of our seniors, and we are wishing them the best of luck in the future. Our very own superintendent, Dr. Kataya, visited our multicultural club and spoke about her experiences of being a part of Italian American heritage. She shared amazing stories about food, family memories, and why the culture is so important to her. The meeting was extremely memorable, and everyone had lots of fun. During the month of October, we are proud to announce that our Key Club volunteered at 29 events, counting up for a total of 373 hours. The club is extremely excited for all the opportunities that lie ahead. Our Model United Nations team participated at the Charger UN Conference at the University of New Haven. A total of 35 students from our team attended. They earned the Distinguished Delegation Award, as well as many individual awards. Our mentoring classes attended Orchard Hills and Live Oaks last week to meet their mentees in person for the first time and play games with them. Each week, students meet with their mentees over Google Meet and engage in various different activities digitally. Both Rho Kappa and Foreign Key Club are hosting collections for the community. Rho Kappa hosting the annual Homes for the Brave drive, where students can bring in a variety of winter weather necessities, and Key Club hosting a winter coat drive. We want to thank you all for your time tonight, and we hope to see you at the Thanksgiving game. If not, that's okay, because we have a broadcast and I'm on the call for that, so make sure. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you and good evening, board members. It's a pleasure to be with you all once again. To start off, the National Honor Society raised $206 during their annual costume contest. This beat last year's record. All proceeds went to the pediatric brain cancer research. The National Honor Society also inducted 23 new members last Thursday, where families were able to celebrate their children's high achievements. The ceremony went smoothly and successfully with a strong speech from our very own Dr. Kataya. This year's homecoming dance was a major success. Law had a record-breaking number of attendees, which led to an enjoyable evening for all students. Drama club rehearsals are running overtime with their production of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, coming up this weekend from November 14th to the 16th. On November 1st, students of the Save Promise Club ran the 13th annual Vicky Soto 5K to raise awareness and honor the teacher who made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. In academics, the math department has been working very hard together to plan and align their assessments with the mathematic curriculum. They have also spent time, including professional development on election day, exploring ways to use AI to help improve instruction. In the social studies department, the Model UN class participated in the Charger Mun Conference on October 26th at the University of New Haven. The students worked with other delegations from across the state to craft solutions to the war in Sudan, as well as the food insecurity around the world. Law students tied for the title of Distinguished Delegation with the team from Foreign High School. In the art department, the AP and art design classes recently took a field trip to the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. Students in the art department will also be taking a trip to Yale in the upcoming week to see the Yale Art Gallery. The music department has been preparing for performances. The marching band has been performing at football games, and all other ensembles are preparing for the winter concerts on December 17th and 18th. The choir recently took a trip to Yukon for their Young Conductors Symposium. Students in the ensembles are preparing for their CMEA region auditions. Their performances are in December. In the English department, tons of articles are posted on the Advocate Daily, as well as many new podcasts daily. Those can be found on Spotify at JLaw Advocate.
In the World Language Department, our world language teachers continue to focus on helping students produce language. In Spanish classes, students have been learning about the Day of the Dead and the Giant Kite Festival to deepen their cultural awareness and appreciation of diverse traditions. In French classes, students prepared facts and information for French Week, celebrating the language and culture with the school community. The TLC has checked out over 400 books so far this year. Nonfiction has been the most popular genre. The world language section continues to grow, with new books being added in Chinese. The world language section now includes books in 6 languages, with plans to add 3 more languages soon: Turkish, Russian, and Japanese. Some of the help desk students have joined esports and are learning the technology needed behind the scenes for repair, streaming, and graphics for tournaments. The special education department continues to build relationships between students in special education and general education through programs like Friends Forever. In athletics this past month, all fall sports had action-packed seasons and successful senior nights. Channel 8 News was here last week to do a cover on our football team for their game of the week against Hamden. With a 31-7 victory, they took down their SEC rival, which will help them progress to the playoffs. As a senior leader on the team, I'm proud to report that we're currently 7-1 and undefeated in conference play. The girls swim and dive team raised $2,438 for their Lionheart fundraiser. The money was donated to the Smilo Cancer Center at Yale New Haven Hospital and the Yale Cancer Center for Breast Cancer Research. The school counseling department took 30 students to Eastern Connecticut State University for a college informational session, tour, and lunch with college students. The law counseling department planned and held a virtual FAFSA night in conjunction with Quinnipiac University that was both open to law and foreign families. Approximately 75 families were in attendance. To date, 47% of our senior class has applied to at least one college. Several students applied early decision, a binding agreement to different colleges, and many took advantage of the free application days provided by state universities in Connecticut. Meet the Military Branches is coming up this Thursday, November 13th. Representatives from the Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, Marines, and Navy will be at law to answer questions and provide important information. In other events, the eSport team competed in the KO eSports tournament yesterday. They advanced into the semifinals in Smash Duos and Mario Kart singles. That's all for this past month. Thank you again for listening. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you. Do we have anybody in the audience? Oh, I'm sorry, students, feel free to head out and get on with your evening, whatever you might have to do. Thank you. We'll see you next month. Have a nice Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody in the audience who wishes to make a public comment tonight? Seeing none, I'll dispense with the public comment statement. Chair's report. So, just a reminder to the board, as was just mentioned, you are all invited to the Thanksgiving game. And I think we've been given details in our packets. If not, I'm sure they'll be coming from the superintendent's office. Tomorrow's Veterans Day, so I do want to wish everyone a happy Veterans Day. Thank all the veterans. I know our tradition in Milford has been to have veterans activities throughout the week, which is something we've been doing for quite a while now, and it's, I think, very well received by all. So I'm sure that this year will be no different. This is the last meeting of this term. The inauguration is on next Monday, the 17th of November, here in Parsons Auditorium at 7 p.m. Open to the public. We hope we'll have lots of people joining us. I just want to take a moment to recognize Board of Ed members who are leaving us after tonight. As unpaid volunteers, we do this work because it's important to us, and we appreciate the time that's been put into those who are moving on. Tracy and Christine, you've both been super advocates for our schools and for our kids. I want to thank you for your service. I expect you'll find other ways to fill your time. But I expect you'll also enjoy having your Mondays free. Not so much for Mike and Scott, who will be moving across the street to their other boards. So your Mondays and your Tuesdays will still be spoken for. But I know you'll both continue to serve Milford and with our schools still in your hearts. And we look forward to seeing what's to come for all of you in the months and years ahead. So thank you again for your service on the Board of Education. It's much appreciated. I think Dr. Kutaya has provided you a little parting gift.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Use it in good health and whatever you choose to put in it. Do we have any liaison reports tonight?
Thank you.
Yes.
Milford Prevention Council. Youth Committee was awarded a CREC problem gambling grant. They are currently underway working on a video PSA that will be showcased during Gambling Awareness Month in March. They collaboration with West Haven Prevention Council and the Orange Drug and Alcohol Action Committee has created a new presentation called Under the Influencer that highlights how social media is being used to access, market, and sell substances to youth. The next virtual presentation is December 10th at 6 p.m. Youth committee members have been very busy volunteering at events for the Downtown Milford Business Association. Community engagement is a huge proactive protective factor against substance abuse, and this new partnership has been very beneficial. The MPC Coalition meeting is Wednesday. It's normally on the Tuesday, but because of Veterans Day, we're having it on Wednesday, United Way. Having representatives from the Milford Police Department to discuss current trends they're seeing in Milford. Milford Prevention Council and West Haven Prevention Council have a virtual Power of Parents presentation scheduled for December 3rd at 6:30. Milford Prevention Council is scheduled to go to both East Shore and Harborside in December to present to the second quarter 7th grade health students on the impact of vaping on their health. MPC has secured temporary funding through DEMIS, the state of Connecticut, DMHAS, to continue current programming through June 2026. That's good news. And the next virtual Narcan training is November 18th at 6:30. Freshman forums that happen annually at both high schools are on for Tuesday the 18th at Law and Wednesday the 19th at 4 and at 6 p.m. Speakers are January Welks, speaking on youth mental health, and Braylee Wan from APW, speaking on gambling among youth. Anything I just mentioned, they're very active on their Facebook page, Milford Prevention Council, so you can recap all of the events that are going on. Lots of great things.
Thank you, Ms. Preet.
You're welcome.
Any other reports? Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to item 6 on the agenda, approval of the working agreement. Do we have a motion, Ms. Wolf-Boynton?
We do. Motion to approve the working agreement between the Milford Board of Education and the Milford Education Association that runs from September 1st, 2026 through August 31st, 2029.
Is there a second?
Second that.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Ms. Glennon. And I'm happy to turn things over to Ms. Doctieri for this month's instructional highlight, which focuses on the brand-new elementary progress report.
Thank you,
Good evening, Ms. Glennon, members of the board. Really happy tonight to be able to share with you what's been a long time coming, just over a year or so of work. I remember talking to you about this dream pretty much almost 2 years ago now to revision our elementary report card, which tonight we will call it the Elementary Progress Report, and I'll tell you a little bit more as to why the shift in the name. But this is something that our educators were craving. It was feedback that I had received coming into the district about making this something that was workable for teachers, but also in benefit of students as well. And we know that education is constantly evolving. And when we talk about education evolving, we're talking about evolving to meet the needs of our students and prepare them for the future. But we know that as we navigate this changing educational landscape, so do the way that we teach students, the way that we assess students. And student learning then also has to evolve. So since our last report card revision, which goes back several years, we've had many changes to the standards. Many of those frameworks pictured on the slide, whether it's the C3 framework in social studies, or the healthy, balanced curriculum and living framework in physical education and health that have become much more skills driven. It's required us to take a look at the way that we assess students on a daily basis in the classroom. With that, parents also need more specific and actionable feedback to help them understand where their students are at any moment in time. So I want you, there's a lot on this slide going on, but I want you to focus on the picture at the top left. And I think as we planned for the presentation this evening, we wanted to kind of ground in an analogy that you're all probably familiar with, and that is taking your car to the dealership to be serviced. So we all know, and I promise you this report card picture on the right is not mine. I did better than improvement needed in science, I promise you. We think back to the traditional report card. Many of you are probably familiar with this particular format. Imagine taking your car into the dealership to get it serviced, and you get back a picture of this report on the top left. And let's say that the mechanic or the service technician circles the hood of the car. That tells you that something under the hood is malfunctioning or needs service, but it doesn't give you the specific information about what that servicing is. So you can think of a traditional report card being holistic like this. It's really an average of all the assignments that a student may undertake. However, it's all rolled into a single numerical or letter grade. And the problem with that is it often blends academic performance with non-academic factors, things like behavior, participation, homework completion. So a student might receive a lower grade than what the grade actually determines they're capable of because of these non-academic factors. Second, a student's overall grade may actually hide some potential areas of concern. So a student may do really well in particular aspects, but struggle in particular areas. However, since it's all lumped together into kind of one composite grade, it's very difficult to disaggregate that. So for instance, if a student gets a B in math, that may tell you that they are doing very well in addition and subtraction, but it may not tell you that they struggle with navigating complex word problems. So it makes it very difficult for teachers and parents to be able to provide feedback or to be able to understand the feedback about their students. So tonight you're going to hear me shift from the word report card to the use of the phrase progress report. So again, I want you to focus first of all on the picture on the left. So a few seconds ago I just showed you the picture of the whole car and I said, imagine going into the dealership to get your car serviced. Now you take a look at this particular picture, and while it's difficult to read and see the actual individual elements, what you're hoping for when you go in to have your vehicle serviced is that you're getting this composite report that looks at all of the different functional components of the car, from the brakes to the alternator to the way that the steering and alignment function on the car. The mechanic doesn't just give you one overall score on your car. And just like that, teachers assess each key skill individually. So for reading, we might look at fluency, comprehension, vocabulary, all as separate elements of what students know and are able to do. Standards-based reporting really focuses on progress and growth over time. And you notice how I just used the word progress there. That was really the driving factor that caused our team to really think about the shift in language from the report card to the progress report. It emphasizes now that we're looking at growth towards a set of skills over the course of the school year, rather than one single snapshot in time. Finally, we are committed to using very clear and consistent indicators. And our standards-based report card is able to show how students are meeting each learning goal. So as we began the journey of looking at and starting to develop our new reporting tool, our committee actually started with developing a vision that launched our process. And we asked ourselves, what's really important for us to get out of the entirety of the process? And there's 4 big buckets that we came to terms on. First of all, clear communication. We want to know exactly where students are and where they need additional support. And that ties very nicely into the growth-focused learning. So gone are the days where we're looking just at which students need support, but we also want a tool that's going to help us to see which students need enrichment or extension to the work that they're doing. Growth-focused learning really emphasizes growth along a continuum of standards. So we're not focused so much on comparing student to student, but where each individual student is along their journey toward mastery. Third is the alignment with instruction. We want a report card, and we heard this very much from educators, that was less subjective and really had a true alignment to what they're teaching every day in the classroom. And finally, a tool that reflects the developmental appropriateness for each student. So we know that students develop skills at very different rates, and we wanted to make sure that parents as well as students, receive meaningful feedback to where they were along this continuum. So, as you know, we've shared with you many times through my presentations, through my team's presentations, Dr. Kataya, that we are grounded in several frameworks. And one of the frameworks that is incredibly important to us is our vision of the learner. And this is really our K-12 framework for how we think about the skills and dispositions that our learners need to be ready for college, career, and life. And this was one of the grounding frameworks that we used to anchor as we developed the progress report tool. And I put up this quote by Tony Wagner and Ted Dintersmith that says, "What matters most in our increasingly innovation-driven economy is not what you know, but what you can do with what you know." And this really, I felt like, captured the shift from the report card to the progress report tool so well. We know that our kids every day are in a world that is very different from even a few weeks ago. We've seen that with our discussions around artificial intelligence. Students need to solve problems that don't exist. They're going to interact with technologies that have yet to be discovered. So a single letter grade isn't going to prepare them for the future. We need to work to make sure that what we report to families and what we share with students are the specific transferable skills: critical thinking, problem solving, communication. And we really wanted our standards-based progress report tool to help us focus on developing these new competencies. So gone are the days where you would get a report card home and you would see the behavior section, the learner habit section that said, follows directions, works well with others. And that language is now completely developed and aligned to our vision of the learner. So we truly believe that we're going to start and continue to educate not only our staff, but our students around the vision of the learner, even at the youngest ages, and build that up through the course of their educational career with us here in Milford. I want to emphasize that this change didn't happen overnight or in isolation. This work actually began last fall, so over a year ago, and the team met regularly all the way through the fall of this year. And our team actually consisted of the initial report card steering committee of 37 educators, which included coaches, teachers, the instructional supervisor team, myself, and it was consistent across all grade levels and content areas. And this team really did a lot of the work, and I want to share some of the work that they did. So this team unpacked the content level standards in each academic area to understand what students need to know and do at each grade level. They researched templates from other districts to understand best practices that other school districts that have recently revised their reporting tools in Connecticut have used. They created educator grading guides, which I'll share with you a little bit further in our presentation this evening, that would ensure consistency across all classrooms and schools. That was really important, to make sure that every student continues to have a common experience, shared experience, no matter what school you attend in Milford. And finally, this team did substantial work to make sure that the reporting tool was clearly aligned to our district assessment calendar. We really wanted to make sure that the natural flow of learning was captured from our assessments and was able to be translated onto our reporting tool to be shared with families throughout the school year. So this wasn't a top-down mandate as much as it was a dream of this team to do the work. Educators who know our students were at the table for the 9 core meetings, as well as some of the subcommittee work that happened over the last several months, to really develop a tool that will help families understand their students' learning. So we use the opportunity to make sure that our progress report tools were aligned to grade level and specifically end of year standards. And you'll notice that at the bottom, there's 3 keywords there. We placed a great emphasis on focus. So we want to make sure that we systematically narrowed down and deepened the level of the standards that we were getting into with students. The coherence, we were looking at connection of standards, not only just within the same grade level from unit to unit, but also from year to year. And lastly, we talk a lot about rigor. And we wanted to make sure that there were challenging and engaging experiences embedded within the curriculum that went beyond just simple rote memorization. And that is a balance of conceptual and procedural understanding, fluency, but also skill application were so important in the development of these standards. And as I shared with you, what was really important to help guide our educators was the development of these educator grading guides. And I'm happy to report that the educator grading guides exist for every single content area across all 6 grades, K through 5. So our educators have tools throughout each of the marking periods to be able to go in and objectively assign evaluation criteria to students. And the way that the grading guides are set up is it follows the what we call the academic clusters. So obviously things like reading for information or operations and algebraic thinking, whatever the particular descriptors are from the standards. And then underneath that is the report card indicator. So the same language that would be found on the report card, followed by a description of that particular report card indicator. And then you'll notice the 3 boxes. And the 3 boxes really provide to the educator what are the specific characteristics that students would demonstrate as you move through the grading descriptions. And I'll share with you a little bit in a few moments what the 3 grading descriptions are, but we're using, instead of a 1, 2, 3, 4 system, we're now going to an E, P, and M. E is emerging, P is progressing towards mastery, and M is meeting the standard. We believe that these tools create a great opportunity to apply to parent conferences. So we now have a tool that will reflect the dialogue that educators have with families when they come into parent conferences. Not only to show where students are at any moment in time, but to also continue to help families see where we're moving students throughout the school year. As we mentioned, it's going to reduce the subjectivity of evaluating students and make sure that educators really feel like what they're teaching, they're able to evaluate clearly. And lastly, I do want to showcase that this team has also developed a feedback tool that we'll share with families throughout, or share with staff, throughout the school year to collect feedback on the use of the tool. So we're able to improve our process and resources not only during the school year, but also as we move into subsequent school years as well. And as I mentioned to you, we have 3 grading descriptors. And we kind of visualize this as learning to ride a bike. I want to emphasize that you will not notice negative language. We really tried to focus on a growth mindset as we developed our grading descriptors. So for instance, think of starting off as riding a tricycle. At this particular point, students may need frequent, targeted support. And then as they start to gain a little more momentum, maybe now they can start to ride a smaller bike with training wheels, maybe with an adult standing alongside them to help guide them. And we really wanted to emphasize there that, again, students are working on grade level, but now they may need some scaffolding and adult support to interact with those particular standards. And then lastly, where we're hoping to get to by the end of the school year is a point where the student is meeting the standard. And again, you'll notice in there that we're talking about independent, consistent, and accurate understanding. So students are doing and leading a lot of the work and are able to interact with grade level standards in an independent manner. So we wanted our approach to assessment to really honor the complexity and the individuality of each child, because we know that the trajectory for each student is going to look very different. So you may be asking, how do we support families in the process? And my team was really cognizant of this as we began to think about the rollout and the implementation of report cards for the first, or progress reports for the first time this year. So the team did a lot of work early on in the year to help co-create a parent information guide, which really showcased a lot of what we shared with you tonight, what standards-based reporting is, what's different now with the new progress report. And we even tried to add in a frequently asked questions section to help address some of the areas that we felt like families would really experience some questions. We also created a table at each fall conference that were staffed by members of our instructional coaching team to be able to showcase some of the sample progress report tools, but also to allow families to be able to ask some questions for us to answer as parents navigated the process. And we are currently in the process of thinking about developing a page through the Teaching and Learning website that will not only house our PDFs of each grade level report card, but our educator grading guides, as well as other tools to support families around assessment within the Milford Public Schools. So we are looking to have everything in kind of a one-stop shop for families to be able to access. So before I wrap up the presentation, I do want to make sure that I give some public thank yous to this incredible team behind me, Ms. Corrado, Dr. Morrow, Ms. McGuire, Ms. Akampora, and Dr. Paris for all of their hard work. It is, I can't even put into words to justify the amount of work that they've done to work specifically with their teams, their coaches, their teachers, to lift this work off the ground. Many long days, late nights, wrapping up the work for this. I could not have done this without this group of individuals here. I need to thank, obviously, the Report Card Steering Committee, those 37 educators that I mentioned across all of our elementary schools that helped to lift this work and make the dream a reality. And lastly, Lou Giancola and Lauren Payon and BIDS, who turned around in such a quick manner, met with us, and have already built the new reporting tools into Power School, so that way we are able to, in the month of November, before grades close and are due, give staff the opportunity to interact with the new tool, be able to ask questions, and just be able to start to try out integrating their evaluations into the system. So thank you to everybody that was a big part of the work. So with that, I thank you all for the opportunity, and am here to answer any questions, as well as my team, that you may have this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Altieri.
Thank you.
Questions? Ms. Preet?
Just remind me, is it 4 times a year, like the progress, report card now, progress reports?
3 times a year.
3, okay,
Yeah.
and middle school is 3 also?
Mhm.
Okay, used to be 4, okay, got it. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to remind myself.
And this was just elementary school, right?
This was
This
just
is-
K through 5, yeah. We actually did pre-K last year.
Okay.
We revised the pre-K report.
Any questions?
I have a quick question.
Yep.
Sure.
So the meets the standard, that's meeting grade level expectations, right? So for those that are exceeding grade level expectations, is that?
Yeah, so we will continue, again, to be able to support students that are approaching the meeting very quickly. We continue to do work with looking at ways to extend the learning, especially opportunities within the classroom. It's been a big push for us to continue to dive further into our Tier 1 instruction and really look at the core instruction in ways that we can not only support students, but extend that learning for students that may be close to or have demonstrated mastery. So we usually try to take that on a student-by-student basis. Work with our teachers, work through our curriculum process to make sure those opportunities exist. You're welcome.
Ms. Doyle?
Thank you. Building off Ms. Flowers' question, so I'm looking at the measuring what matters, the bringing clarity and growth indicators to your example here for math, report card grading, and then looking at your frequently asked questions about changing grades, changing scores. Is each progress report, would they be different, or are they the same? Are there certain skills that will not even be addressed in a progress report? So say in first progress report, they would only be, the first 4 skills would be focused on, and then in the second half would be the second 4, or like building on how does it work like that?
We try to limit out, so the old kind of setup would be you gray out areas, or maybe you didn't focus on something throughout the year. we try to keep things that we would work on throughout the school year, so it was that continuum throughout the full year. I think the point that you raised about the parent guide and about the change of evaluation, we wanted to be clear with families that in a true standards-based reporting, it is possible that, let's say in January, you're at a progressing, and then in the end of the year, you may fall back to a emerging. And that's just naturally for the fact that the content becomes more difficult. What we're asking students to do with the content changes and evolves throughout the year. So we tried to really work with families to know that this wasn't a linear progression, but it's just like we want with student learning in the classroom, it's messy. And that as we're building towards that, you could see opportunities where, and it doesn't mean that students are not learning anymore, it just means that the content is becoming more difficult.
So the skills have progressed over the period
Yeah.
of time they've built. So it's just easier for me to visualize this. On here it says fluently and accurately adds and subtracts within 20. So the skills they're doing in September are not the same skills in June, where they're gonna build on those, but they are all still fit within that framework of building to 20.
Correct.
Thank you.
Other questions? I had a couple. Could you go back and just reiterate, maybe expand on your initial, very first comment that when you came to the district, there were lots of questions about changing the report card, I think is what you were getting at.
Yeah, so I think, as I shared, Ms. Glennon, that as the standards have continued to evolve, obviously, you're not necessarily revising or changing the reporting tool every year. So there was the opportunity for us, especially as we've looked at new curriculum like UFly and literacy, or the bookworms work that we're doing now, or even the work in math. It was the opportunity for us to be able to revise our report card indicators to truly match and reflect what educators were doing with students in the classroom and what students were learning. So just to be more in alignment with what we are emphasizing through our curriculum.
And was the feedback brought to you by staff or vice versa?
Combination of the instructional supervisor team, myself, I think just as, we've listened to what staff want more of or less of, it was definitely an opportunity for us to lead some of that work and make sure that there was alignment.
I think Mr. Altieri is understating the input that teachers have had in this. So we've known that the elementary report card was a little in the broken stage because it wasn't directly aligned to assessments. It wasn't directly aligned to standards. Teachers are often confused as to where in the unit should they look to provide a grade and then to talk to parents about in conferences. So I think we heard them loud and clear that that needed full rehaul, and we just needed someone to lead the charge. So we heard directly from teachers that it was difficult to have conversations with parents, to provide children with feedback with the tool that we had in place. So everything that he outlined today, from it being aligned to a written curriculum, it being pointing directly to an assessment, and actually having all second grade in the District of Milford having the same rubric so that all second graders are being graded the same way on the same assessments is huge. So he's, being a little shy and understating the partnership that he has engaged in with teachers as well as instructional supervisors.
Well, yeah, the committee itself, it's clear that you had a very broad base in the committee, and I
But it was
appreciate that
directly
this is.
from teachers.
Yep, this is, it just kind of honors the work that we do in Milford to incorporate all of that feedback. And this report card has already been, progress report has already been used?
It will be used for this first marking period, correct?
Which is in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So this will be the first.
This will be the
Being
first-
rolled out for the first time this fall.
Yes, Ms. Conlon.
Okay, so you'll have, be sure to get more feedback from.
We will, like I
By the
said.
end of the year, you'll have a full year of it and have some more feedback to work on.
Yeah, and we even look to give out the feedback tool right after the first marking period, just to see what we can do to continue to support staff throughout the year. And then we'll use some of that information, we'll pull our steering committee back together towards the end of the year to make actual, if any revisions need to happen for the 26-27 school year.
And is this a paper progress report? Or is it digital?
No, it's digital.
Okay, very good. Anybody else? Thank you for the information.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Ms. Glennon and board members, oh, thank you instructional supervisors being in attendance. You can go home and do your homework. Thank you. Safe travels home. Ms. Glennon, board members, we have before you the approval of the McKinney-Vento grant, and I'll turn things over to Mr. Zenowitz to give you a little bit of background before you take this into consideration.
Thank you, Dr. Kataya. Good evening, board. The connection to Milford Public Schools commitments is commitment number 9. We're committed to operational excellence that ensures Milford Public Schools invest in the newest and most advanced practices to ensure relevant and progressive educational opportunities for our students. The background is the McKinney-Vento Act is designed to guarantee a free and appropriate public education for all homeless children and youth by strategically removing barriers to their enrollment, ensuring access to their educational success. The core goals of legislation are multifaceted. Remove the barriers to attend and be successful at school, to facilitate the immediate enrollment of children who are not yet in school, promote school stability by allowing students to remain in their school of origin, to actively promote academic success and completion for homeless students. And finally, support essential collaboration between local school districts and the community agencies that serve these vulnerable students. So this could be a student of origin that resided here and we're the school of origin, and they go reside in a different town, but because we're their school, we're still fiscally responsible for them. The status. Our district has applied for the McKinney-Vento grant to strengthen our ability to support and serve students experiencing homelessness. This federal funding will allow us to help offset the cost of providing transportation for the students identified as homelessness under the McKinney-Vento Act. The Connecticut State Department of Education has awarded a grant to Milford Public Schools in the amount of $25,000 for the fiscal year 2025-2026. As a requirement of the grant, the State Department of Education requires that our Board of Education approves the acceptance of these funds. So again, the main purpose of this grant is to use and offset the cost of the transportation. So if we have a student that's of origin, but they're residing in a temporary housing structure, say even in Bridgeport, in New Haven, Stratford as examples, we're responsible for transporting them here. We split that cost with the town that they're residing in. But at the same time, we might have someone that's residing in a temporary shelter here in Milford, but the school of origin is in another town, and vice versa. We're splitting the cost with that school district. So I am asking for the Board of Education to approve the State Department grant for Milford Public Schools in the amount of $25,000 for the 25-26 fiscal year.
Thank you. We'll start with a motion and then we can have discussion.
Thank you.
So, motion that the Milford Board of Education approve acceptance of the McKinney-Vento grant awarded by the Connecticut State Department of Education for Milford Public Schools in the amount of $25,000 for fiscal year 2025-26.
Is there a second?
Second that.
Second by Mr. Furmender. Do we have any questions from Mr. Zenowitz? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very much, Board.
Thank you.
And we're now turning things over to Ms. Capazza for the annual talent management and development report.
Okay. There's 2 parts to my report tonight. The first part you were given ahead of time, and the second part is regarding stay interviews and exit surveys. So I just wanted to touch on some of the items in my lengthy kind of list of things that are going on in the world of TMD. Talk about some statistics about staffing, recruitment, and the teacher pipeline. We posted for 285 positions that were open this year. Processing a whole slew of applications for the 285 jobs, and I just want to mention that that number came directly from a report from Frontline, and I'm not super confident in it because it's almost double what was reported last year. So I'll explain a little bit about us navigating away from Frontline a little later in this report. We hired 177 new employees, brand new hires, going through all of the fingerprinting, TB testing, mandated DCF checks, employer education verification checks, etc. We do continue to do our fingerprinting in-house in our TMD department, processing payroll action notices to the payroll department. Over 2,500 of those were done. We have 7 interns currently assisting in the district, compared, and I felt it important to include the previous years, 9, 11, and 13 in the previous 3 years. So when we talk about the teacher pipeline drying up, this is very concerning. Our interns are coming to us from local universities. They're typically in a 1-year master's program. They work in our schools for a year in exchange for tuition. We pay the university, so they have free tuition. So that's a little concerning. But when we don't have enough interns, we do hire building subs to kind of supplement what we partially use our interns for, which is for day-to-day substitutes. We've placed 13 student teachers this fall and 9 this past spring, because this report covers 11/1/2024 to 10/31/2025. Let's see. So the first bullet on the next page, the staffing shortage continues to be felt around the state, including here in Milford. I do want to talk about special ed being our most critical shortage area. And that's not specific to Milford, that's across the state. What we're seeing is kind of a wild ride of people coming into the district and other people leaving to go to somewhere else in Connecticut, and it's just a vicious cycle throughout, including mid-year, people leaving mid-year, which isn't very typical. In the summer, you'll see that, but, so it's again, pretty concerning. World languages is another shortage area, second to special ed, and then I would say science after that. Those are our 3 hardest to fill areas. In the stated time period of this report, we've hired 10 special ed teachers and have had 12 special ed teachers resign and retire. So that's a pretty high number. Our per diem rate for substitute teachers, we raised this year to $145 in order to keep current and competitive with surrounding districts. So far, we have seen a slight difference in our fill rate, but of course, it's early in the year too, so take that with a grain of salt. Let's see, currently we have about 156 substitutes in our system, including teacher paras and teacher subs and para subs. And we do continue to expand our pool of substitute staff members throughout the year. Currently, we employ 17 building subs, again, to supplement the lack of interns. We allow 1 per elementary school and 1 for every school in which we could not place an intern. It's our 3rd year hosting a resident teacher through the TRP, Teacher in Residency Program, which is offered through the state. We unfortunately had a great teacher in the program who had to withdraw from the program, so we currently do not have a teacher in residence. However, the previous 2 teachers that we had in district are currently placed in full-time contracted positions within the district and are doing great so far. We continue to attend as many teacher recruitment and we're going to call them pipeline events that we can, including Quinnipiac Elementary and Secondary mock interviews, the UConn Education Recruitment Fair, Fairfield U, Southern, CEA, and Sacred Heart University Career Fairs. The TMD webpage on our site, we're constantly trying to improve upon that. You can find that on the milforded.org website in the top right-hand corner of the homepage. This year, we've added something, thanks to Kim, called the Wellness Hub, which is centered around employee self-care and personal growth. So we've added that this year. The common new hiring practice that we put in last year was used for an entire year. And it was a little tricky, a little tough for people to get used to, but now they're fully in the groove of using it. And that entails, it's a standardized process with a handbook, and the principal will submit a JOT form once they've done the demo lesson and checked all the references, and everything comes to us electronically. So not only is it standardized, it's efficient, and if it's ever needed for any legal purposes, everything's in one spot. So that's going well. Our monthly newsletter that we've coined and retitled NPS Connection has been really, really fun and super successful with our employees as a way to recognize people, spotlight our new hires. We put a fun fact in for every new hire with a photo of our brand new employees. And we do trivia contests and offer prizes and talk about what books people are reading, et cetera. So that's really fun. The next 2 items are we're going to do a little presentation on the exit survey that we offer to resigning and retiring employees. as well as something that's brand new, we've gotten into conducting stay interviews. So why are people leaving, but also why are people staying? Why, and how can we look at all of that information and make the Milford Public Schools an even better place to work? Employee benefits and leave of absences. As you can imagine, people take time off for various reasons. This year, there was 138 leaves of absences that were processed. That next bullet, we're gonna talk a little bit about. The Connecticut, we instituted a bunch of different, by law, leave acts. So the Connecticut paid sick leave law, which was effective January 1st, 2025. That's for all employees. The Connecticut paid leave, CTPL, which was just effective 10/1, and that's for non-certified employees. And that is a law where we just started taking money out of their paychecks. So it's through a percentage, and then that's kind of a leave, a pay replacement leave law. And then the Connecticut FMLA, which, oops, sorry about the typo there, EDFF, effective 10/1/25, and again, that's for all employees. So all of these laws intersect, overlap, and/or complement current sick leaves programs that we have, and federal FMLA, which we've always offered. As a municipality, we've followed the federal FMLA, not the Connecticut, and now we have to do both. So you don't get, Connecticut offers 16, federal offers 12. They don't get 16 plus 12, but there's a way they can get 12 plus an additional 2 or 3, depending on the nature of their leave. It's very confusing. So that's brand new stuff that we're dealing with, and of course, based on mandates that have been passed down to us, so we have to do that. We continue to use an automated system for our FMLA leaves, which is great, efficient, everything's electronic. We, for our insurance programs that we offer employees, the district has about 1,739 employees on our insurance plans. A little over 1,000 that are active employees and 700 retired employees. So those are folks that are covered by our medical and life insurance plans. We introduced this year a new benefit enrollment system, again, as an efficiency to make things easier on people. The first year was a little tricky because everybody did have to make a phone call to a dedicated benefit coach who guided them through the benefit offerings that we have. Because of this, we're able to offer some new supplemental benefit plans through AFLAC, voluntary benefit plans such as whole life insurance, hospital indemnity coverage. So there's just extra ways to protect employees should they elect to take those programs. We also expanded our network of workers' comp care by adding a 4th facility. So it just gives our injured employees more options to receive immediate medical attention if they're hurt at work. And in addition, a light duty program to help transition employees who can't quite do all of their duties, but maybe can do 3/4 of them. We want to work with them, we want them back to work, and we will kind of accommodate them through that temporary period until they're fully healed. Okay, let's see. We obviously negotiated the MEA contract this past summer. That contract goes into effect September of 2026. What else? We continue to work with the Employee Assistance Program for our employees who want to see counselors. It's a benefit that we offer to our employees, plus the people in their immediate family and in their household. New teachers that were brought in before the start of the year for the MTA. We had 28 new teachers attend that program this year. And TEAM, which is a state mandated program for our new teachers. There's currently 13 new teachers enrolled in the TEAM program, 7 teachers in year 1 and 6 teachers in year 2. It's typically a 2-year program. And we Kim and I held an orientation with 2 of our other teachers here that help us with TEAM in October, where the year 1 teachers completed Module 5, which is basically focusing on professional responsibilities and teacher leadership. 14 teachers were recruited and approved to become new team mentors. The team mentors can take on student teachers into their classroom and serve in other various ways. And we again did the teacher parent of the year, which is always a great ceremony the culmination of that, highlighting the incredible talent that we have at the Milford Public Schools. Let's see. I want to touch on migrating from Frontline to Red Rover for our absence management system. So this is the system where teachers will call in if they're going to be out, and the system will find a substitute for them if needed. We switched over the summer to Red Rover, and it was relatively a seamless transition. It's a little bit less costly and a little more efficient. So far we're finding success with Red Rover. And although it's not written in the report because it happened on 11/1, we switched our recruiting and hiring platform also from Frontline to Red Rover. So we're right in the midst of that. I don't know if anyone has noticed it on our website. It's a much cleaner look. It seems to be a little bit more efficient for our applicants, people that are applying. It's a little less clunky, which is the feedback that we've heard, which is also nice because we want people to apply to Milford Public Schools. We don't want them to get frustrated in the process and then give up, right? So far so good there. Let's skip down to the spotlight, our new hires. We had another busy summer hiring season, which extended well into the fall, which is, I think, par for the course these days. Nearly complete. We have 5 teacher openings right now. 3 from they're not carryovers from the summer, they're from recent resignations. 1 from a staffing change that we're dealing with, and 1 being the ASL teacher opening. So we're continuing on those 5 searches. We hired 40 new teachers this year, 33 in the summer, and 7 mid-year last year. These 40 teachers represent 15 distinct certification areas. They come from 20 different towns and cities in Connecticut, and 13 are Milford residents. Administrators, this past spring, summer, we hired 4 new administrators. Tom Zenowitz here, Director of Pupil Personnel, welcome. Stephanie Corrado, who was here earlier, and Adam Apicella, who are instructional supervisors for STEM. Stephanie, pre-K to 5. That is a typo, I think I put pre-K to 6. And Adam is 6 to 12, both for STEM. And then Anna Maria Simonelli, our new principal at Cap Penn Med. We had 13 teacher retirements and 1 administrator retirement this past year, which is close to average of what we expect. We also had 41 teacher resignations and 2 administrator resignations this year, which is also in line with previous year's resignation numbers of 43 and 2, so pretty close. Turnover rate of 8.43% for teachers and 9.37% for administrators, both being below 10%, which is considered in a generally acceptable and good range as far as turnover goes. Whew. So I will take a breath on that and ask you if you have any questions on that before Tim and I proceed to talk about the state interviews and the exit surveys.
Questions on this part of the report?
It's a lot, sorry.
It's okay. I was wondering, so the 285 positions that were posted, that's all positions, right?
All positions.
All positions.
Yeah, including subs,
Subs,
long-term
lunch aides.
subs, lunch aides.
Yep, all that, okay.
Coaching.
And you mentioned at the bottom of the first page, in talking about the interns and the student teachers, you say indicates how we may continue to experience future shortages since one of the pipelines appears to be slowing down. What's the one of the pipelines?
Where do I say that? Since one of the pipelines.
The last
Well,
bullet.
so interns, an intern
Interns
would
is
be one
okay.
pipeline. Not everybody goes on to get their masters and do this internship. Some people just come to us directly, after their 4 years of school and they're certified. Some people work and get their masters. So
Okay.
just through that pipeline.
Anybody else?
There's one quick question.
Yes?
On the TRP, Teacher Residency Program. So this is the 3rd year, so we were able to get 2 teachers of the 3 in all 3 years?
Let me think about this. The first year we had 2 and 1 dropped out. The second year we just had 1, and this year we had 1.
Okay.
So 2 out of 4, really, because it's
Okay.
the 2 that completed the program are currently with
Okay,
us.
so the
as
first year we
full-time
had 1
teachers.
who continued and completed and stayed in the district. Last year we had 1 drop out, 1 who stayed and is now working in district, and then, so no one here. this year.
Correct,
So
so
there's
we
no way to
won't-
add someone.
Right,
for
we
the
won't
rest
be
of the-
offering anyone, right,
Okay.
a teacher
And
contract.
In that program, refresh my memory, are they working and doing their teaching here? Is it?
No, they are teaching here, or they're assigned to a teacher, they're in a classroom for the entire year, and there's a slow, release of responsibility, of the classroom to them towards the end of the year. They are going to classes both summers, the summer before, the
Right.
summer after, and they're going to classes at night.
Right, that's what I meant. So
Yeah,
it's
so they're-
it's a rigorous program. is
Correct,
my-
but yeah, they're not allowed to work anywhere else. I thought
That's, I knew
Yeah.
that they're doing their schoolwork
Yeah,
on top of it.
it's really tough, which unfortunately I think sometimes is why people leave,
drop out.
because, different things
It's
come
just
up in
too
their
much.
life and they just can't do it all.
But what's the benefit of it to them, is that they're,
It's an alternative route into certification,
Okay.
so the only credential that they have going into this program is they have a bachelor's degree and they want to go into teaching,
right,
so
okay, so
it's a
quick,
quick
a more
route.
quick route to
Yep.
teaching.
And it's hands-on, so it's
Right.
really,
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? All right, on to the next piece.
okay. Okay, everybody, I think you probably remember Kim Vigil. She's the Associate Director of Talent Management and Development. She came to us in June, and she's been a wonderful thought partner in this work. We're gonna talk a little bit about the stay interviews and the exit surveys. Okay, yeah. Just want to remind everyone about the TMD mission statement, which is basically in an effort to recruit and retain the highest quality talent for our students. We believe that people must feel valued and respected so that they can be effective and influential. We believe it is important to be responsive to staff needs and provide growth opportunities for district talent in order to fully attain the vision of the learner for all students. So again, you can see from our visual on that statement of the different areas that we're fully focused on with our staff members.
So what is our why? Why are we conducting now these stay interviews? And why do we ask people who have left the district to participate in exit surveys? So they're both providing very valuable input, but with stay interviews, our goal is to retain our talent. Besides giving us valuable insight, we want to reduce turnover so that in the long run, we don't have to conduct as many exit interviews. We are inviting certified teachers to engage their voice and tell us what's working, what's keeping you here. So if you think of it as a well visit versus a post-op visit, the well visit is beneficial for the long term of the career instead of reflecting at the end on what could have been improved. So we like to think that stay interviews give employees a voice to shape their current experience and inform growth, while exit interviews do give them the opportunity to reflect.
Okay. Again, this is a graph that maybe you've seen, and in talking about TMD and what we do, we're moving through the continuum of services in the employee life cycle of an employee, starting with recruiting, selecting, hiring, and staffing. After an individual is hired and onboarded, they enter the continual cycle, that third kind of a wheel that's going around. So they're entering into that continual cycle of growth and development. It is here where the stay interviews really come into play. That's where they live. And then upon the offboarding ramp to retirement or resignation, this is where we want to hear about the experiences that people have had here in an effort to learn how we can do even better. So that Exeter retirement circle on the right, that's where we do the exit surveys.
So as a start, this past month of October, we kicked off with 6 stay interviews. We interviewed participants who volunteered their time, certified teachers, and within each interview, we asked the same 6 questions. We also gave the teachers an opportunity to share any additional insight that they felt they needed to share. Their names were kept anonymous when we kind of compiled our data. And for this go-around, we spoke with 5 elementary participants and 1 high school participant. We do have further stay interviews scheduled throughout the fall, and we hope to speak to people from a range of different levels.
So it's not a lot of data to work with, we realize that. We're hoping that, you know, the people that we did interview, once they see how we're presenting this, and that their names are confidential, and, you know, we can build upon that and have more people volunteer to meet with us. We met with them anywhere from 20 to 60 minutes, depending on what time of day it was, what their schedule was. We tried to keep it really 20 to 30 minutes max, in respect for their time. The 6 questions that we asked: what energizes you about coming to work each day? In what ways do you feel most valued and appreciated by the district, by your school, and or your colleagues? What PL opportunities have been the most impactful, and what additional PL would help you thrive? If you could change one thing about your role or experience for the better, what would it be? What factors influence your decision to remain in district, thinking ahead 5 to 10 years? Is there something that you have to have for us to keep you here? Are you considering leaving? You know, we're not gonna hold you to that, but, and then if you were to consider leaving the district, what would be the primary reason? And these questions are what we're starting with. I mean, it's so far so good, but we're open to new questions as well.
So some of the consistencies that we heard across the board, the biggest consistency that we heard, I think from all of our interviews, all 6 so far, is that their biggest reason for feeling super motivated to come to work every day is the students. And you'll see in this slide, there's just a few quotes directly pulled from what the teachers shared with us. Many shared that they love seeing their students create and grow. They just love the kids, and there was very little hesitation to answer that. That was the first question.
And they reiterated it all throughout the interview. The kids, which is great.
Another huge reason is the support that they feel from their colleagues and administrators, especially in their building, but also in the district as a whole. One participant said people in this district really care about helping each other. I can go to anyone for support. Many people did note that if they called upon an administrator in their building for help or support for any reason, they felt like they were the most important person at that moment when they were having the conversation with the administrator, and that just kind of repeated. Again, building and district level relationships, there's an emphasis on the support, and going back to our relationships framework. Relationships keep me here. I'm happy and enjoy coming to work, and that's what we like to hear.
Yeah, there's a real level of trust amongst colleagues, and they really, that relationship framework shines through in all of their responses.
When it comes to professional learning, one particular teacher did share that in speaking with colleagues who work in other districts, this person really feels like Milford offers their teachers a breadth of varied professional learning, even more so than a lot of other districts do. We definitely have the support here in Milford, they said. And the staff just overall feel like the part of a greater community.
So on the flip side, what can we do to make your experience better? Some of the common themes that came up, again, it's only 6, but decision-making. Continue the engagement of teachers in decision-making. So, for example, the literacy program selection that recently the Teaching and Learning Department went through. A few people that we spoke to just really enjoy being part of making these decisions. And one particular teacher said she was on this committee, and although the district did not choose the program that she felt was best, she truly appreciated being a part of the experience. She felt valued. She felt that her voice was heard, even though the choice wasn't the one that she would have gone with. But she kind of encouraged us, you know, to continue doing that. So we kind of, even though it might make an experience better, it's also a positive. Special education, again, not specific to Milford, but as you can imagine, with all the changes in special ed, whether it's through workload, burnout, it was felt from some of these teachers that better support was needed due to the increased behavioral needs of students. So, you know, again, nothing, I don't know that we have the answers to some of these issues, but they also felt that perhaps they need more in-classroom support, including paraprofessionals, which, as you know, is probably a budget issue. And then out of our control, state and federal, whether it's a mandate, whether it's the state changing the kindergarten age, you know, they're not really sure that there's anything we can do about it, but they're kind of feeling that some of that is attributed to some of the feeling that's going on in the district surrounding special ed. Career advancement opportunities, they would like to see a clear pipeline for leadership roles, which is a tricky one. We talked a little bit about this. And, you know, I think Kim's, you're gonna get into that a little bit further in the presentation, but there's, you know, we don't have assistant principals at the elementary level, we have teacher leaders, but not everyone wants to be an administrator, but with 640 teachers and only 38, 39 administrator positions, that's a tough area. I'm not sure about, you know, how we can certainly develop some pipelines, but I'm not sure how much we can really change some of that. Communication, it was felt that sometimes they felt a little bit more communication could come, and in an organization of our size, we feel that that's something that a lot of people can improve upon. But really explaining the why behind decisions, whether it's school-wide, district-wide, so I feel that we do okay with that, but I suppose we could always do better. And again, that people just want to feel valued and that their voice matters and that they know what's going on within the district. Professional learning, they would like us in our professional learning programs to allow voice and choice for teachers. And they also felt that the turnkey professional learning programs, meaning they like the kind of programs where they can take something directly from their professional learning session, go back to their classroom and implement it right away, and be all excited about it, get re-energized with some of these things. So they do like those kinds of professional learning programs, and then ensuring coherence across all of the experiences. So basically, being responsive to teachers' different needs, differentiated needs. With 640 plus teachers, not everybody's in the same time and place in their career. Some people need more basic information and other people need to be challenged more. So that's a continued challenge, I think, that we all have. Okay. Oh, okay. So now we're going to the exit survey. This is data from 2 years that we have here. We have number of resignations, number of retirements, and the number of survey responses. So for our resignations, we've had 195 total, certified and non-certified. We're gonna basically be talking about certified because that's our largest group of people, our teachers. So 66 resignations over the past 2 years. Number of retirements, 58 for total certified and non-certified, certified only 22. And then so for our survey responses, we received 68 back from our certified and non-certified, which is a low response rate, 27%. From our teachers only, we received 38, so 38 out of 88, which is a 43% response rate. It's better, but it's still a low number. So again, take that with a grain of salt with some of this data that we're giving you. That's it, I got mine.
So we just want to show you just a small portion of the survey. We're really concentrating on just certified staff experiences with these next 2 slides. So you'll see the number of respondents. It's the actual number of respondents based on just the certified staff. And we ask them to rate specific areas of their experience on a scale, with the dark blue being excellent, lighter blue being good, purple fair, and the yellow poor. And between this slide and the next, you'll see that there are very few answers of poor. But as far as interaction with colleagues, professionalism, and access to resources, those that did respond did rate it as a fairly high experience, positive experience, as well as feedback on their work. And if you look at the next slide, okay, yeah, this is still. With salary, we rated fairly well. We rated good support from supervisors, fringe benefits. Overall, also very good in the PL opportunities. And fair in the growth opportunities, which we also saw in the state interviews. So it is lining up on both ends.
So basically, this next slide summarizes the charts just shown to you. So here is what the survey said that the district does well. Again, it's pretty consistent with the stay interviews, but positive peer environment, colleague interactions, maintaining professionalism, positive relationships with administrators, and a highly collaborative work environment. So overall, in the comments that we received, the staff felt respected and supported by their peers and their administrators. So this, again, tells me that relationships are being built and they're being valued. Another thing that somebody said in the stay interview that we really didn't touch on was that when people transfer buildings, it's harder for them to make relationships. So, you know, the folks that have been in their buildings for a long time had a lot to say about that and how valuable, how much more valuable it was that they've been in one location for a long time.
And so where are the opportunities for growth? So as we spoke about earlier, the pipeline for long-term career opportunities, as we mentioned, we do not have assistant principals at the elementary level, but we do have stipended positions in the middle and high school levels. We have HQI, numerous HQI opportunities throughout the year and the summer. We also have team lead and department head opportunities in the middle and high schools, as well as curriculum leaders in various areas. Compensation, of course, comes up as an area for growth, but being that we are next door to Fairfield County, as we all know, and some districts that do pay a little bit higher, that is a concern. And as we mentioned from the stay interviews, there is a need for some more targeted professional learning, and I think just differentiating for the varied needs of our staff. So we just hope to balance district-directed and school-based opportunities in the future. So what is next? So as you can see, this is cyclical. We hope to continue the dialogue with current teachers in expanding our stay interviews and hearing about what keeps them here and or what we can do to encourage them to stay with us in Milford Public Schools. In doing so, we will continue to communicate with our district office and with our administrators so that we can continue the growth and collaboration so that that feedback loop just continues to spin, I guess.
Yeah. And then lastly, we just have some great quotes that are directly from our employees. Collaboration across grade levels in schools makes us feel part of something bigger. When professional learning is practical and teacher-led, it truly helps us grow. The relationships with students and families are what make this work so meaningful. Our administrators are visible, approachable, and always willing to help. A couple more. I thoroughly enjoyed working with my fellow teachers and staff. My colleagues have been incredibly supportive from the day I arrived. So overall, we saw a lot of positive feedback from our current employees and even from some of our employees leaving.
Questions? Ready for
Questions? Yes.
Questions? Mr. Scobie?
First, I just want to say I love the idea of the stay interviews. They clearly just started in October, but the way you're talking about them, I thought they've been going on for a long time. So I'm just like, I think it's great that you implemented these. I was looking at the questions, and I just wanted to toss an idea out there of like trying to get like demographic or like experience-based questions of when you're interviewing them, just like how many years of experience have you either been teaching or been with MPS?
Yes.
Because somebody who's at 0 to 5 years might appreciate that professional
Yes.
learning, and somebody at 10 to 15 might appreciate the leadership. And then you can take that data and target, you know, well, we need to hit this with the 10 to 15 years, and we need to hit this with the 0 to 5. And I imagine you can look up this data anyways because you know who these people are, but.
Yeah, those were two questions that we did ask. We just didn't incorporate it in here because then there was only 6. But
We're just
teachers,
saying
exactly it,
that's-
yeah. Yep.
That was it, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Smith?
Yeah, thank you. This is really cool. As someone who doesn't work in this space, I was curious if, when it comes to either exit or stay interviews, I'm sure it's a self-selecting population that do it across all industries, right? And so I guess what is the, looking at the certified only, so a 43% response rate, is that above normal? Like, how does that compare to other industries across like the exit interview that I'm sure plenty of jobs do?
Yeah, I briefly looked into that. I think it's low.
Okay.
I think, I mean, I didn't do extensive research, we'll have to go back and do
Yeah.
that, but I think like 60% would be really good.
Yeah.
So 43, I didn't see it as bad, I saw it as,
Yeah, it-
average,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I wish it were more, because it's like, if you think about someone who's completing a survey,
Mhm.
they either have really good things to say or really not so good things to say.
Mhm.
People who have had a so-so experience, I don't think they're answering,
Right.
ready to jump on the horn and answer some of these questions.
Thank you.
So I think what I've heard you say in the past is that you offer the interview, you offer, you offer the exit survey, but people don't necessarily always take advantage of it.
Correct.
So you had 88 certified retirements or resignations in the last 2 years, and you had 38 people respond. Yet, so in the charts, the highest number of respondents, 20. So, for instance, professionalism in the workforce, 20 people said good. Is that how I'm reading that?
And yes, and those particular charts are just for certified teachers, so we just extracted that very specific set of respondents as well.
So not everybody answered the questions, is the way I'm reading this.
So then you have the 20 plus the 13 plus the 4.
Oh, all of them together?
Yeah,
Okay,
all,
that's
yeah.
true. Okay, gotcha, sorry.
That's okay.
I don't read charts that much in my life. And, Ms. Doyle?
Thank you, on the charts as well. So I'm assuming the exit survey is much more paper-based or online
It is
job
digital.
form? Is there open-ended questions or anything?
Yes. Yes.
As well?
And with some, we got a lot of great feedback or lengthy feedback, and with some, it was just maybe a sentence or two, depending on the response.
How frequently do you send it out to them afterwards?
So as soon as we get their resignation or notice of retirement, we send it to them. We try to send it to the milford.org email plus their personal email address if we have it. If we don't have it, we try to get it when they're returning their Chromebook, and then we'll send it out to them after they've left, in the hopes that they'll answer. Maybe people just don't have time before they leave, or maybe they wanna wait and tell us what they really think, I don't know. So, yeah, we do try to get it out multiple times, yeah.
Thank you.
Ms. Irby?
The state interviews are in person and the exits are on paper. Why? So could you do the state interviews as surveys?
So this, if I may, the stay interviews, we actually offer the teachers the opportunity to do it virtually, in person, either here or we can go to their school. And of the 6 that we've done so far, we've done them all virtually because that just kind of worked with everyone's schedule. And we did one in person, sorry, one in person and everything else was virtual. But we like to do the interview, we don't want to do it digitally because we really want to hear what they have to say. So we're taking very copious notes during the interview, both of us, to really capture what they have to say, and then asking follow-up questions if needed, and also giving them the opportunity at the end to add anything that they might have missed.
And you find that you're having conversations that are like friendly conversations or
Yeah,
more?
so in the research that we did about stay interviews, we really wanted to make sure that they're comfortable opening up to us and that they know, again, that their names will not appear on any of the results, and just kind of building upon that relationship so that they do feel comfortable sharing any concerns, but also any wins and highlights that they are seeing in their school.
And on the flip side, the exit interviews, it's all on Google Forms, but they also have, if they want to elect an in-person, they can continue the conversation with me. Not too many people elect that, but I have done a few.
But it is, yeah.
It's an option.
Thank you.
Ms. Whip-Whiten?
I'm wondering, first of all, like Mr. Scobie, I love the idea of these stay interviews. I'm wondering of the 6 certified teachers that you interviewed, if they are all from a specific level, and also if while you're moving forward, are you targeting a specific level because there may be a need of some kind?
Yeah, there was 5 elementary and 1 high school. Because it's voluntary, that's the way it landed this time, but yes, we would love to target, obviously, middle school, high school, various roles, not just classroom teachers, not just coaches, not just teacher leaders. So we're hoping that over the course, this time next year, we'll have way more under our belt and it'll be more representative of our entire district.
And also that if, once we see the numbers, if we see that there is a dip in a certain area, we can reach out to teachers at a certain level or within a certain subject area to really hear their voices as well and encourage them to share.
Mr. Smith?
Do the employment contracts allow for like certain types of incentivization, like a Dunkin' Donuts gift card to complete the state survey or something like that, or is that a thing you've thought through, or how does that work?
Well, I mean, we could do something like that. We can't do gift cards.
Okay.
The way our accounting system works.
Yeah.
But yeah, we actually have toyed with, putting together a little goodie bag for them with.
To thank them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
so thank you.
it's a lot, there's a lot they're doing and making it,
Yeah,
figuring out how to fit into their day. like-
exactly. And then if word gets around, maybe more people want to talk to us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we have considered that.
Any other questions? All right, thank you so much, it was very
Thank you.
informative.
Go do your homework now. That's put your kids to bed.
I'm excited and board members are transitioning to the long-anticipated year-round presentation on summer projects by the one and only Mr. Patrick Bradbury. So just for clarification, the packet that is in front of you, board members, do not include the 2,546 pictures that, I'm sorry. The number of pictures, you just have the overview slides.
First of all, thank you. I really appreciate the time to kind of highlight what our department does. This is a very small snapshot of what we were able to get done this year. And I just wanted to highlight a few of the projects that we did. On top of all these projects, our guys, we probably changed 1,200 air filters, 300 belts. We applied about 650 gallons of floor wax to all the schools. We serviced over 90 pieces of snow removal equipment to get ready for the season. We had over 500 yards of playground mulch delivered and spread for all of our playscapes. Changed all the bottle fillers. We have 100 bottle fillers we replaced during COVID. Replace all the filters every year on those. We've made the switch in the custodial area from microfiber to microfiber, and so it's always very busy. But we're going to start out, we'll go through the schools, and we're going to start out with Cat Pen Meadow. Cat Pen Meadow, we had a couple projects on there, a normal classroom renovation for the floor tile. We had a classroom of floor tile we replaced, so we did the ceiling, we painted the room. We have a drainage issue in the back of the property that we deal with. We had this at 2 schools this year, Cat Pen and Orange Avenue. In the ground projects, we had to add clay to all the baseball fields, so this is another school that we added to. We renovated most of those fields. And then we had assisted the PTA with a little Avery's Garden. This is room 6 there. This is after we completed a new floor, new ceiling, new LED lighting, and then completely painted. This is the drainage projects. As you can see, all those leader pipes that come off the back of the building would dump onto the asphalt. And so in those mornings that we'd get that thaw freeze, it would be a skating rink back here. So we were able to clean that up. And then next year, this drains out to that catch basin. I have to go after that, from that catch basin out to the next turn. We have a blockage in there that I have to open up. This was Avery's Garden in the front. This was a PTA project. We just assisted them with contractors, grades, and where to get all the material. And this is what it looks like today. There's going to be some, in that center area, they ordered pavers that will have parents' names on them, and they'll get those set. Live Oaks, another little bit of abatement. We did some custodial rooms, a couple of closets, reconfigured the front office. They wanted to move the front office around a little bit just to make the flow a little better in there. We added a fence to the playground to help contain some of the children in the back so they would stay off the back parking lot. We had a little tunnel job which we'll get into, of some heating lines and water lines we had to replace, and again, we added clay to the baseball field. This is the custodial room. Those are two of our mechanics dismantling the shelving in there. It's a new floor when it's all done. We did a new ceiling in there. This is a custodial room that we did, a little custodial closet. There's a fence in the back. If you, this just helps keep the kids in that area, because if they come off this parking lot, they're into the bus turnaround. This is the front office. This is where the office was, and, you know, we get this, you know, can we move the desk? And, yeah, it's simple to move the desk. It's all the power, the panic devices, the monitors, the data lines. This is like a little command central here in these offices, so we moved it over to the other side of the room for her. This is kind of what we're getting into. We have a big project coming up at Meadowside School. That's on the capital improvement plan. But this is what we're dealing with in the tunnels. This is below these units. We replaced these units, but we had to fix all the piping that feeds those, and our in-house staff did all of this. And back to the ball field. Ball fields are, they're at all the schools. They're all clay, no pesticides, so we're constantly grooming these and keeping these. It's a constant, we're constantly staying on these to keep the weeds from coming back. Mathewson, some floor replacement. We did the bathroom floor over in the main office. That was a vinyl tile. We switched it over to tile, regular tile, and did the baseball fields. We extended the driveway apron because the parents were having trouble getting out, and we just had to make it a little wider. Placed a water heater and a little bit of tree work. This is a room in the back. This is the first one, room 26. This had carpet tile all over it. This was probably set up for a ready-to-learn room at one point, and we had to replace the floor tile. This is a section of carpet in the media center I removed just to put VCT down, which is vinyl containing tile. It just makes it for a cleaner space, and I'm sure there's a little area rug that they can put on there. This was the office bathroom. We demoed the floor tile that was in there and just put a ceramic floor in. This was the apron. You see where the guys have it opened up. It's a very narrow apron, so we just had to add about 6 feet to that to make it easier for the parents to get out. There you go. And we placed the water heater. This was in-house. These are our guys, so and we're very, very, very fortunate to have the staff that we have now. This is probably one of the best crews we've had in a while. We have a very talented crew. This is some tree work we did. We are constantly chasing trees. This is along the property line to the cemetery, pretty much. And we moved the tree to the left of that. A large tree, which is pretty well dead. And then this is going down that line. We're constantly going around the property. This is one side of the property, and now we're back on the other side of the property to the residential houses over there. Some of these, this is a tricky spot over here because where you see the fence, there's about 2 feet to a rock wall, and I own a little bit of property in there, so we're constantly pulling trees out of there that are too big. This was dropping on some of our teachers' cars. Another tip. Metal side. This is another, this is where it's getting the renovation this year. We had to do a steam pipe replacement in the tunnel, a steam pipe repair with a new product, which we're hopefully will hold. We installed a new fence in the back playground. We had a fitting on the back of the boiler. Dr. Kataya really enjoys those pictures the most.
I love them. The boiler's my favorite.
It's a mixing valve and added some pickup area to the parking lot. This is what we're dealing with in the tunnels. As you can see, this is a section of pipe that we pulled out. You can see the corrosion in the top. There's actually one small pinhole in that we drilled in there just to see the thickness of the pipe. And this is the area we're working in. This is called a mega press fitting that we were able to get in there and rent the tool. We have tools for copper. We just don't have a head for this size pipe. But this really will help me if we have a leak or something during the year. I can really get in that tunnel and make this change. Before, we'd have to weld it, just as like this fitting was done. before the mega press this is a fairly new tool, we would have to get in there with welders and weld this section of pipe back together, which is time, smell, and it's not an easy spot to work. This is the mixing valve, hundreds of these that we change out. This is the back playground. We put that playground in the back. You can see the blue structure in the back. And we added this fence along the back and wrapped it around the playground to keep them, give them a safer environment in case kids or teachers or parents come in there, or they're blocked off from that. This is a drop-off zone we added just to help them get out that door to the handicap accessible spot. Kennedy, we installed a small playscape, 2 to 5 range in the back. This came with another, we shortened the swing up so we could fit this apparatus in there. This is the spin on the other side. And as you can see, this is one of those spinning structures the kids get on and go around. But you see that we end up doing a lot of maintenance to this. You see how they pushed all the chips out of the way, so we're constantly in there pushing that back. This was part of the ball field reconfiguration. You see that freshly green grass there on the right. What happened there was it was a really bad trip hazard. There was probably a foot-high swale in there that was built up from all the old clay from years of grooming it and pushing it back. Orange Ave, very similar. We just did the drainage there. Same thing. This was a tough spot because this is ready to learn back here. So they were very early in the morning. So we were really struggling with ice buildup in the back there on a freeze-thaw cycle. And this goes right out to the storm system we have in the back of the property. All paved. This area here where you see that pink line, as we cut this asphalt back, we were also getting a lot of erosion and the mulch would wear out from all the heavy rain, so we ended up putting a curb in here, added catch basin and helped alleviate some of that water. Orchard Hills, paint the gym, added a gate. We worked with an outdoor classroom setup on the side. This was an outside contractor. We had to paint this gym. This was the gate we put in the back, just to keep cars from driving up there. Normally we have some sawhorses out there, but we needed something a little heavier. And this is the outdoor classroom area that they have set up, and the PTA provided the tables and the chairs and whatnot there, so the kids get to go out there. Pumpkin Delight, a couple minor things. We were able to change some lighting in the front parking lot that was very dim, and our guys, we upgraded that. We did that last weekend. So this was before, this is after. So all LED. We're actually waiting for 2 more heads to come in on the next set. We're just having trouble with a timer right now. Office reconfiguration on the other side. We switched that over, another very time-consuming piece. This little playscape here, this was part of the project, which you guys didn't get to see. This really just finished up, but this was the last piece of the project they finished. East Shore Middle School, we did a couple little projects here. We did an electrical panel in-house, wall pads for the gym, and clay for the, this is an old panel that our guys replaced. We had a little cost avoid. We got quotes on this of about $5,200. Our cost was $1,100, so we had a cost avoidance of $4,100 just on this project. This was a great little project. Wall padding. This is an area it's right underneath the backboard and up against the stage, so we replaced that padding. And ball field. Harborside, room 202, same thing. Full. We did the floor, ceiling, lighting. We had to install a new cafeteria door. This is an internal door. This was for lockdown. This was a bi-parting door, and we made it so they can lock down, and that will be another section of area that they can lock themselves into in case of an emergency. Damaged wall pads, little cabinet painting. This was room 202 before. As they're doing it, new 2x2 ceiling, and all LED lighting and finished flooring. Those are the wall pads. and this is the cafeteria doors. We just we had to rip the whole frame out to put these doors in, because before, one door went one way and the other went the other. It was a bi-parting door. Some cabinets in 206. We just painted them. This room will be next on my list if we get back in for floor time. Not a lot at West Shore. We did some tree trimming. We own a lot of property along the back side of West Shore, which butts up to some neighbors, and the overgrowth is really pushing hard against these fence lines back here. This tree here got blown over, so we ended up taking that out before it went down. And then the ball field, they just did this a couple weeks ago. Sorry. The academy, we just really painted the gym. That was all we did there this year. So we got the gym painted. We're in pretty good shape with the academy. Warren High School, lots of projects going to get into the high schools. Gym floor, water valves, tennis courts we touched up. We had a new fiber connection to the pool area, which gives us more access, wireless. We had no connection really down in that lower pool area, so we ran a fiber link down there with Lou. We installed some washing machines. We really did this at the two high schools and Parsons, because we switched to microfiber, so now we're doing some of our own washing of these microfibers in-house. We cleaned the turf fields. Baseball field, we leveled the clay, added a clay storage pit for them. Added a fence. And we did some sidewalk work in the front of Foreign High School, which was desperately needed. This is the gym floor. We had a dead spot in the center of the key. Of course, it can't be anywhere else but right where they have to be. So we ended up having to rip this section of floor up. And got it back together, painted, and then we recoated the floor. We did the same thing at Law. I do not have pictures of that because I forgot it. But we had the same problem. We had a leak in the gym. We had to pull out the section of floor. We had a piece of ductwork that the birds actually ate a section of insulation out. I don't know why. This is water valves. This is a big thing for us at the Foreign High School. We were able to do this in-house. This is all ProPress fittings. We probably did 15 valves. We had to shut the building down for a couple of days, bring in a portable toilet, just to get this water shut down and back up. The guys did a great job. If we had to do this with hot work, it would have taken a lot longer, and the building, it would take forever for the building to drain, but we were able to get this done this summer. This is just patching up the tennis courts. This is that rack we put down in the pool. This will help us with, really for Lou and some foam work we needed down there. We clean the turf fields. We do this every year, both at Law and Foreign. This machine picks up all the infill, has a magnet in there. We'll take out any metal that could get into the field, into the turf. It could be bobby pins, it could be cleats that somebody shouldn't have on there. It could be helmet parts or anything. We end up getting off the Foreign Law football field 2 bags of material. And so now we've added another broom to our suite, a magnet to our broom to help to pick up some more of this. This year was a lot. I don't know why it was so much. So the baseball field, we regraded that. We were getting some puddles around first base, so we had to go in there and pull some of the material around. Or clay storage. Just a spot for the guys to keep the clay, to add it to the field, it won't wash away. We have a river over there. We added this fence to the top of the wall in the back by the loading dock. We had a couple children try and Evel Knievel themselves off this wall, so we wanted to, Justin's been on me to get that done. This is the front of, this is the old front of Foreign High School. This is original work that, you can see the curb is letting go. There's a lot of cracks in that. We ended up pulling out a lot of sections, redid the curb, redid the walkway for a good portion of this. Took out this was a non-code compliant handicap ramp because we have it somewhere else, and we just put all this back together. Jonathan Law, another list of projects. We changed out a condensate tank in the tunnel. We actually pulled this condensate tank from Pumpkin Delight, because Pumpkin Delight, I replaced it a few years ago, so we were able to repurpose it over at Law, so it didn't cost us anything there. Replaced the cafeteria doors in the, we replaced the exterior cafeteria doors in the cafeteria because they had glass in them and they weren't locking well, so we took the glass out and firmed them up a little bit. We added, we changed the cabinets in one of the art rooms. It was one of the things that was in the budget. We tried to get 2 of them done, but we were only able to get 1 done. Came out great. We added power for the pottery wheels. That's what kind of started the whole project. Touched up the tennis courts. We had to remove and install a new dock leveler. We just pulled that one out and did that. Cleaned the turf fields. And we did a large section of sidewalk, a city sidewalk. That was kind of a joint effort between myself and Public Works. We changed a section there, was in bad shape, and we added some LED lighting in the same section off the media center, just to help with people, because if we have a night event at Jonathan Law, there's a lot of people that come from the front, around this front sidewalk that I wanted a little better. Add some LED lighting. Oh, we replaced the heating and ventilating units in the learning center. That's that project we did in-house, I'll explain that. This is the condensate tank. This is where we get to live. This is another one, Dr. Gadai, I know you want to see. This is the...
Water pipes were really great too.
I know.
Frame picture of that?
I do, I have it, I'm sending it over. So this was great, we repurposed this and...
Look at that, look at that.
It's nice.
Oh, it's nice looking.
It's only about 125 degrees in this tunnel, so it's really a nice spot.
Oh.
There's cafeteria doors, this was the old ones, those are the new ones. This is the art room. These are the old original art cabinets that are up there. Both sides.
Original what year? 1955?
1955. Wow. So we pulled those out, painted the whole room. These are the cabinets that are in there today. We got those, new tops. We redid the sink area. Those are the original sinks. We couldn't get anything that would work. They were in great shape. And we changed the faucets and the drainage. Our guys repiped everything. And new service for the pottery wheels. That's kind of how the whole thing started, was all the pottery wheels. So now, hopefully next year, we can get the other room done. Touched up the tennis courts. We redid these last year, but they're asphalt, they expand and contract, so we're constantly chasing cracks. This is the loading dock. So we had to enlarge this, and it's now an electrified unit that will help food service with the tractor trailers that come in. We still have some other work to do to this, but it's coming. And this is the sidewalk work. We really ran almost the entire front of Jonathan Law High School. And that on the left there is where I've added the LED lightings, because this was a darker section when the parents come down to get to the auditorium, because they have to park in the other lot. This project here, this is the learning center. We replaced both air handler units, the air conditioning, heating, there's steam coils in both of these. We put these projects out to bid, and we didn't get them. We didn't have enough money. It was through a grant, semester funds. We weren't able to do it, so we were able to budget for just the units, and we did them in-house. Our staff, your staff, did this. We craned everything in, replaced the units. 2 units, they did all the piping, all the refrigerant work, all the electrical work. And we added a split system to the back. There's another room to this we added air conditioning for. So when this went out to bid, we got quotes. The low quote for this job was $291,000. Our costs were $73,000. So we had a cost avoidance of over $200,000 for this project alone. This is the type of guys that we have, the type of people we have in the department. We really are fortunate on what we have, and they love to do this work. And that's it. That was the end of my presentation. Hopefully I didn't keep it too long.
Do you have questions? Thank you for your dedication. I mean, you and your staff,
We're very
just,
fortunate.
we are, and just thank you.
Thank you
Mr.
for giving me the opportunity to do it.
Mr. Scobie?
It's not a question, it's just more an appreciation. I'm really glad you put those slides on there about the cost avoidance, just because, like, I experienced this at my place where I have my guys fixing the machines instead of paying vendors to come in. And, like, I don't think people realize just how much money you can save when you have the right team that can fix things up. So I just, kudos to you and your team.
Thank you. Since COVID, the pricing and the costs are off the charts. And so we're trying every way we can. Actually, you know, we're really trying a lot, so.
Ms. Doyle?
Thank you for the presentation. I'm gonna thank Mr. Bradbury for all your work on Pumpkin Delight, especially for the punch list, which was thousands of items long. And he literally went up into the ceiling and took pictures, every single one, and made the contractor fix it. And so that's the kind of dedication, and it's why we can still use cabinets that are 75 years old, even though they're not great in our buildings. But you can see the rotting out pipes that exist under all of these schools, I assume, to some extent. And then you have all these water exchanges that need to be replaced, the cross connections, all of that. It's intensive work that requires dedication and great teams, so I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Other questions for Mr. Bradbury?
I have a nod. There's a cemetery next to Mathewson?
Cemetery property, correct.
Okay, thank you.
I had the same question.
Not active.
Not active, but there's Milford Cemetery.
Future cemetery.
I'm not in it, so I'm happy.
We are happy too. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Look forward to next year.
Ms. Glenn, can I have a quick moment of privilege? Just
Yes,
wanna
absolutely,
Also, you know, thank Mr. Bradbury for all his work and sentiments of the board. I just want to echo those. Mr. Bradbury goes above and beyond. I think we all know that. And he keeps our aging facilities in immaculate condition and really makes sure that our students and our teachers have what they need. And I just can't thank him enough for all his work. And whether it's early morning, middle of the night, he's always first to be there in the event of an emergency. So he's working proactively, but also he's there in the event that we need someone boots on the ground first thing. So thank you, Mr. Bradbury, for everything.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's keep going with the superintendent's report. Ms. Glennon and board members, we have before you the policies for second read and hoping that you'll take action this evening. You want us to go through each policy or are you going to make a motion first? Sorry, I can't
I think
remember.
we had some, we did have some changes.
Yes, you
with
did.
them, right?
So I'm going to turn things over to Mr. Giancola and Mr. Altieri to review the changes.
Thank you, Dr. Talia, fellow board members. So I'm going to read second read for the review of the private technology devices by students, P 5131.81. You'll see our new changes are in blue, and we struck on the first paragraph there, we struck out cell phones and or other, and then cell phones, smartwatches, and other, just to be consistent throughout the entire policy. And then on page 3, in the 5th bullet, we added the as such to continue that sentence. And then also added to point out a new bullet, online gambling. And then under disciplinary action on the same page 3, we struck his or her to their designate.
Very good, thank you.
And those are all our changes.
Good motion.
Motion that the Board of Education approve the revised policy 5131.81, private technology devices by students.
Second.
Second by Mr. Flemender. Do we have any questions on this? Any concerns, changes? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Board members, the second policy before you this evening for our second read is 6141.323, Internet Acceptable Use Filtering. And I'm going to direct your attention to page 2 of the policy. In the middle of the page, this was the implementation list of the actions. We removed the word also in number 1. In numbers 2 and 3, since it was a running list, we removed the develop and provide and just changed that into a system to filter out and professional learning opportunities. And then going down into the second to last paragraph, this was some language that the board had suggested to revise around the cyberbullying. I will add that we actually struck in addition to that second sentence because we felt that it was incredibly redundant to what was communicated in the first sentence. So just for clarity, that was struck. And those are the changes for policy 6141.323.
Thank you. Motion is Whitten.
Motion that the Board of Education approve the revised policy 6141.323, internet acceptable use filtering.
Second.
Second by Mr. Furlander. Do we have any questions on this, board members? Any comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Ms. Glennon, board members, the third policy for second read is 5165, student production of services and materials. And there was only one change requested for this particular policy, and that's in the bullets, the addition of service project or production of material replaces the word product.
Motion?
Motion that the Board of Education approve the revised policy 5165, student production of services and materials.
Second that.
Second by Mr. Furlander. Is there any question, concerns, comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
And board members, the final policy in front of you for a second read this evening is P4131, which is professional learning. And no changes to this particular policy.
Do you have a motion, Ms. Whitten?
Motion that the Board of Education approve the revised policy 6161.14, professional learning.
Second that.
Second by Mr. Fernando. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
We'll continue the superintendent's report by going to the talent management development report with Ms. Kapazna.
Thank
Sorry
you.
about that.
You have my monthly report on which you see the job postings, personnel recommendations, retirements, resignations, terminations, and stipend appointments. The only thing that I want to point out in this is the music stipends, which are attached for our district music teachers who get stipends each year.
Questions for Ms. Kapazna on the report? I just had a question on the postings.
Yep.
STEM instructional coach, is that, I'm having a blank on that we have instructional coaches at individual schools. Is that the STEM teacher?
No, it's the math.
It's a math.
Oh, the math coach, okay.
So sorry, that's a typo. When we switched from Frontline to Red Rover on 11-1, we lost the ability to pull job postings, so I apologize for the typo.
So STEM teacher is different than the math coach.
Correct, yep.
Correct, right, so that confused me, the word STEM. And then the teacher of literacy and student services, what is that? Position?
Is that one out of
So that is
students?
a position that was formerly a teacher leader position at the district. And that individual who was the teacher leader, part of her job was to provide targeted direct literacy instruction to those individual students who, through an IEP process mostly, were identified to receive specialized instruction. Well, that person left that position and went into one of our coaching positions at the building level, leaving that vacancy this year. So it happened at the very beginning of the school year.
Okay.
And
All right.
so, based on current student need and our new director of PPS's analysis, We have a significant growing need in that area, so we took the teacher leader position that we had vacant and turned it into that position, Ms. Glennon, that you just read.
Okay.
So that individual will be providing direct literacy instruction to children that need targeted instruction, similar to like a dyslexia.
Okay, moving throughout the district, then it would be a district-wide?
And with primary work at the elementary. It would probably be unlikely at the upper grades, right, Mr. Zenowitz?
Primarily elementary, but
Yeah.
there is a need at all levels right now.
Okay, thank you.
We hope to not get to that point,
Correct.
but just to focus on elementary, but there are a couple of cases requiring this level. So it's either do that or contract out, which would be a lot more money.
Okay,
So it is a required service for children, and this is the most cost-effective way that was already built into our budget.
any other questions? Ms. Doyle?
Thank you. This is a little bit later, based on some of the other information we looked at. Is the American Sign Language teacher a certified teacher, or are they?
Yes.
They are?
Yes, yeah, it's a very difficult area to find. There's not a lot of schools that offer it. UConn offers it. I think they have 2 students in the program right now. One
that's
student,
potentially
excuse me.
graduating.
So, yeah, don't tell anyone else, sorry. But yes,
She
yeah.
goes to U-Heart, yes.
U-Heart.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Pasna.
Thank you.
And now we're happy to move over to the disbursement report with Mr. Brennan.
Thank you, Dr. Kataya, Ms. Glennon, members of the board. In your package, you'll find a list of all the cash disbursements over the amount of $1,500 for the month of October. Happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Questions for Mr. Brennan? All right, seeing none, thank you so much.
Well, that's a first.
Yes.
He was ready with notes.
All right.
Ms. Glennon, that completes the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Pitaya. We move on to consent agenda, Ms. Pasna. I'm sorry. That's. Where did that come from?
Motion to approve the minutes for the October 13th, 2025 business meeting and the October 27th, 2025 committee of the whole meeting.
Is there a second?
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, before we go into our executive session, we'll have board comment. Board comment from any individuals? Mr. Smith?
I just wanted to say thank you. It's been an honor and a privilege being here the last 2 years, I guess this one term, and excited to work with you guys in different capacities moving forward. And I sure have noticed it before, but certainly today I'd also want to say that the young man from Foreign, I'm sure we'll see him on TV, because all I could think of was is a newscaster reading his report. So, that's for sure.
Ms. Irby, did I see your hand up?
I did want to say that I've been very grateful to work with everybody on the board for the past 3 years or 4 years, whatever, how long it was. And I just wish everyone well in the next term.
You're having so much fun that time flew by so quickly, you're not quite sure how long it's Any other board comment tonight? Ms. Doyle?
Just wanted to say thank you for everyone for the last 2 years, those who have joined us midway or left, or everyone. So we did a lot of really incredible work and really made a lot of progress this past term. So looking forward to the next one and wish everyone best success in the future and wherever you're going. And I appreciated each one's contributions to our meetings. Thank you.
Ms. Creed?
I echo the sentiments. Thank you. It was a robust 2 years, and I especially think of the sessions of the long-term planning, and that collaboration was just top-notch. I really do think we had good discussions to get us where we are today, now that we have chosen a vendor and I look forward to watching on TV.
You can participate.
I can come, I guess.
Participate.
But
Public input.
Yeah, it was exciting. It was an exciting 2 years, and we got a lot done, and I appreciate the collaboration. Thank you.
Anyone else? I want to agree that it has been a great 2 years. I think we've seen just significant progress the last 2 years, and I think it's probably been the most exciting of my tenure. So I'm really looking forward to what we do in the next term, so I'm only going to be good. So with that, a motion to adjourn to executive session.
Motion to adjourn to executive session.
Second.
And who are we inviting in?
Mr. Brennan and myself.
Inviting in Mr. Brennan and Dr. Kutaya. Is there a second?
Second.
And all in favor? Any opposed?
And Wendy.
Okay, we will, and Wendy? Yes or
No, no.
Okay, we'll move in to executive session at 9:13.
Wendy, we have a question for you.